Bonjour tout le monde! This is Reshma, really glad to be back here. It's been a while. Welcome from my beautiful garden. This is part of the year when Nairobi gets really cold, but today seems to be a bit of a sunny day, so I thought I'd spend some time in the garden and share with you a little bit about my latest travel journey. So earlier this year I had a really great opportunity to go to the States for work and transiting through France. And so I thought with my husband, why not spend a weekend in France? And that was really great. An easy stop because France, particularly if you take Air France, is just halfway between Kenya, Nairobi, and Atlanta, where I was going to. So this is my story, well, part one of 3 parts of the story of spending some time in France. I have spoken conversational French much of my life, having studied in Kenya, where we had a choice apart from English and Swahili, because we are bilingual, to also study French or Spanish or German. So I studied French. I continued in university to speak French, and so this was a dream come true. France was always on my bucket list, and I was so excited to be able to do this and to be able to go. So off we went. Before we went, we decided to go to the French embassy to get our visas, and that was a really easy process. And for information on travel and privilege, and if you want to watch my video around travel, privilege, and visas, you can click above here to learn more about that. Now, of course, the question was, where in France do we go? Of course, Paris had to be on the list, perhaps 2 nights. My husband and I are both, we're serious foodies. We love food, we love good wine, and so we needed to be able to go to wine country, and starting to research wine country in France is going down a rabbit hole because there's so many choices, just so many choices. And we chose to travel the path less traveled and chose to go to Bourgogne, Burgundy, and started to think through what that would look like. And Bourgogne is fairly easy, fairly accessible. Both centers, both Villesbonne and Dijon, yes, after Dijon mustard, is fairly easy accessible directly from the airport. So really easy to just get into the airport. We ended up taking a few trams to Gare de Lyon in Paris city, and then we took trains onward to Dijon, off the famous Dijon mustard. So we knew where we were going. We didn't know where we were going to stay. So after much research, now we don't like these big hotel trains. There's nothing wrong with them, but we like to take the path less taken, and we also like to really be immersed in local culture. And so we chose to go to somewhere that felt more local, and I found this brilliant website right down here that's called Wine and Spirit Lodging, that's primarily based out of France, and they set us up at this amazing hotel Villa Louise just outside of Bonn, which was brilliant. It was one of the best places I've ever stayed in my life. It was family owned. It almost felt like we were part of the family, just, had a room in the family house. So we took our train down to Dijon, where a lovely car picked us up. After the most scrumptious lunch at the Docks du Dijon, I think it was called, this really brilliant restaurant in Dijon, we had the first ever French hamburger, which didn't come in bread, but really was in a lot of salad and had some great French fries, and was just so different from every other burger in my life. So after we had this brilliant lunch in Dijon and were picked up by a lovely driver who took us through these incredible vineyards, even though it was early in the year, still winter, still so beautiful, we came across our hotel Villa Louise. Now, in most places they give you a fruit basket in your room, but this is France, so we got a lovely bottle of wine. Now, just a little bit of information, this is part of the Côte d'Or, really the area of the best Pinot Noirs and Chardonnays in the world, really the center of these wines. And so we got to stay with a family in their hotel, and they actually make limited batches of wine that they actually sell. And so we had a chance to stay there and experience that. We absolutely loved the experience. In the evening, as the sun was setting, the owner himself, in the cellar of the hotel, in the wine cellar, we were able to do a wine tasting. It was all lovely. I didn't spit any out. But before we did that, because we knew this was coming, the hotel had been very kind as to suggest that perhaps if we were tired after a very long journey and didn't want to go to a restaurant for dinner that night, we could actually just walk, about 15-minute walk down to the little village center and buy a baguette and some cheese. So French, but so lovely, amazing. Really, really cheap baguette too, and €1 chocolates. I've also never seen an entire round of brie for €1, so it was incredible. So we walked as the sun set to the village, and then we walked back with our baguette, had our wine tasting, and then went to bed with lots of baguette, cheese, wine, and happy memories. And that was day one. Vineyards upon vineyards. Welcome to Bourgogne. Fresh baguettes for dinner! So Hotel Villa Louise, named after Louise Perrine, the great grandmother and really the matriarch of this particular family's wine. They taught us so much in our wine tour about the terroir, the earth, the belt, the history of wine in France. And if any of you are really interested, this is not a discussion we had, of course, with the owners of Hotel Villa Louise, but that part of France has really also played a big part in the anti-Nazi resistance. So vineyards, where fake cellar walls were set up and wines were hidden behind. There's some great novels out there that you might be interested to read. So we went to bed, woke up really early, sun across the vineyards, and the breakfast to die for. So morning from Hotel Villa Louise, poached apple and fromage blanc with sugar and cream and orange juice, charcuterie, du pain, bread, kiwi fruit, and homemade chocolate. Like, just honestly, the stuff is made of dreams. Eating that, having a sip of coffee, and watching the sun as it turns the entire land golden. We spent our only full day in that area in Burgundy, in Bonn, which was the closest ville, and really enjoyed ourselves. Walked through lots of domains. There's a winemaking museum, and so you can see these really great old machines that are used to crush the grapes, some dating back from 16 and 1700s. Really great little town. We came across this restaurant that is owned by a French person who's actually lived in Africa for part of his life, and the best bœuf bourguignon I've ever had in my life. And of course, how can you not go to Burgundy and not have a bœuf bourguignon? So that was really, really great. And the desserts, I'm so glad we walked everywhere, because gosh, I would have gone to my work meeting in the States probably 20 kilos heavier. But just really friendly people, really great conversation. Of course, it's important to know basic French, but feeling safe, like you could walk around, not thronged with tourists. Not that, tourists are a bad thing, but just felt like it was a really great area. Went back in the evening, and this was a very special evening, because in this time, we were able to book a Michelin star, 1 star though, I must warn you, we don't have that big a budget, a Michelin star restaurant, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that in my next video. So join me then, but in the meantime, highly recommend Burgundy, Bonn, or Dijon. Very easy to get to, and you've seen some snippets from the video, and yeah, if you get a chance, take it. Life is too short. If you get a chance, travel the world. See you next time.